Hey there, true believers. You're tuned into Baxter Building Radio via the Negative Zone feed, and you are listening to episode 53 of the Fantastic Four Fancast. My name is Nate Charles. I am your host, and as always, I am joined by my co-host. His name is Shane Murray. How you doing tonight, Shane?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay myself. Been working on a couple things today. Just managed to get those done just before we recorded. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good. What have you been up to since our last session?
I finished that new Mutants Omnibus. I have been doing so good at staying up to date, so I don't have my. I read my stuff that I got last week by like Friday night. I was done. So I guess the biggest thing is they put out those DLC characters for Cosmic Invasion. I at least played with one of them.
Oh yeah, we're eating good right now as Fantastic Four fans in the video game world now. Yeah, Marvel Cosmic Invasion just released its first DLC pack with two characters, one of which is one of my favorite characters, that would be Cyclops. But, we're a Fantastic Four show, we're not an X-Men show, and I may have a little bit more of an affinity for the other character that was released. Good old bashful Benjamin himself. Shane, how did you like playing as the Thing in this beat 'em up?
Oh, dude, I was telling Aaron, I was so excited when I found out that you can bounce like a bouncy ball. I was bouncing him around the stage. That is so much fun.
That was awesome. I also like his special where he literally does the twinkle toes things and tornadoes out with clotheslines.
Yeah.
I've never thought of Ben as a ballerina, but I'm here for it.
His face when he gets hit is pretty funny too. That like upset face.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't gotten hit with him.
Oh, let him get hit. You'll see. It's
All
funny.
right. All right. Yeah, I've only managed to play a level or two with Ben so far, just due to time constraints. But yeah, it was a good time, and I'm hoping to see some more members of the Fantastic Four make the lineup because now, I mean, we've got like a full roster of X-Men in that game, right? And we have a couple Avengers, a couple Guardians of the Galaxy. But if you're gonna start putting members of the Fantastic Four in there, you better be committed to putting the whole Fantastic Four in there.
Well, we'll see what happens with the secondary DLC that drops in fall.
I was gonna say it took them 6 months to drop this one. Do we have to wait another 6 months for the other?
They say fall. That's about what they did with the. So it's the same company that did Shredder's Revenge. And that's about 6 months between those ones when they did that. But I'm assuming they're going to drop the Crystal Challenge like they have in Shredder's Revenge, where you try to just go through stage after stage after stage after stage. I'm pretty sure that's the next thing that's coming when we get it in fall, if I was to take a guess. And two characters.
All right. Well, I'm anxious to see who else we get.
I would like to assume that we get another FF character.
Crossing my fingers for Reed Richards. Though honestly, Reed, Sue, or Johnny would be pretty dope in that game.
So judging by like what they said, they added these two in so that they had more like they wanted Ben to be a tank. So they made a true tank character by putting him in the game. And then they wanted another character with good reach. So you didn't have to fly to hit the things that were above you. Or that's why they did Cyclops.
You know who else would have been a character with good reach?
Yes, he would have. He would have. But I'm assuming they figured they would sell more with the ever-loving blue-eyed thing and the ever-loving red-eyed thing.
Fair enough, I suppose. And I'm not going to complain about getting Cyclops in a game.
If I was to take a guess with the way the art design is, we're probably going to get Sue and I don't know. It's gonna be some other cosmic character. My money's on Sue. That's my guess.
All
I know
right,
you
well,
want Reed, but
let's be real. I want all of them.
well, let's see. With Shredder's Revenge, they ended up doing what? Three DLCs? So they might do three with this. They're selling them for less too. That was only $4. I think the first character pack for Turtles was 8.
Well, you and I both like to play video games, but you know what else we like to play with?
Puppets.
Sure, sure. Yeah, puppets, action figures, you goon. Um, Our other news item for this week is that Hasbro just announced two new two packs coming to the Marvel Legends line, and these are Future Foundation two packs. Shane, have you seen these yet?
Not besides the one you sent me yesterday.
So I know that I sent you the Spider-Man and Mr. Fantastic, which are actually up for pre-order now, which is we're recording this on May 21st, so they've been up for pre-order for a day at this point. But actually, the other two pack is up for pre-order, I believe, on May 27th, and that is The Invisible Woman and the Thing. I did send you a link so you could check those out so you can react to them.
Oh yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to pick those up.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on what you've seen of these figures now?
Whoa, she's getting two headpieces?
Yep, she's got a long-haired one and a short-haired one.
I don't know about the long-haired one, but I really like that short-haired headpiece.
So one of the designers that they had on their reveal video, he was also a bigger fan of the short-haired piece just because it allows you to move the neck around a little bit more.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's that or if it's just that face. Like,
She's got that long-haired piece, I would say she's got like a Greg Land face.
it's
And
that
I've
smile.
yeah,
It's awkward.
yeah. But I am incredibly excited for these figures. Like Sue looks good. Ben looks incredible.
Yeah. That grumpy Ben face is spectacular.
And then the Reed and Spider-Man. This is how I feel like all Reed figures should be released, honestly, because they've gotten to this bad habit of just giving him those hand pieces with the really elongated fingers. But this figure actually comes with the bendy arms that you got back during the Walgreens exclusive pack that they did a few years back. And yeah, I really think that every Reed figure should be coming with both of those accessories. So kudos to Hasbro for finally making that a thing.
Yeah, it'll be fun to play with those. I wonder if they'll give us any of the other future Foundation members.
Well, they did say in their reveal video that they would be perfect to put in front of a Dragon Man if you have them. And I do.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't have Dragon Man.
Oh man, highly recommend getting your hands on him. He's dope. He's an incredible figure. So yeah, it's nice between these and with DNX coming up and the Midnight Line coming up in the comics. I feel like we're eating pretty well as Fantastic Four fans these days, don't you?
Yeah. All the Fantastic Force crossovers.
Yeah. And you know what else we were eating good with, Shane?
The first part of Full Circle.
Yeah, Alex Ross's Fantastic Four graphic novel, Fantastic Four Full Circle, which we covered the first half of back in episode 49. Today, we are going to cover the second half of. This was published by Marvel in conjunction with Abrams Comic Arts under their new imprint, Marvel Arts. Last time around, I hadn't really seen how in depth they had gone with getting new projects off the ground with this, but the stuff that they have released and the stuff that is coming down the line has me super excited. So, not only have we gotten Fantastic Four full circle out of this, back in August of 2025, we got The Avengers in the Veracity Trap by Chip Kidd and Michael Cho, which I still need to check out. But Chip Kidd, wonderful writer. Michael Cho's artwork, I absolutely love. And if I could go back to our 50th episode and revisit my Dream Team post, he would also be another artistic candidate that I would love to see on the Fantastic Four regularly. Then we have three other projects that are announced that are coming down the line. June 23rd of this year, we have X-Men Elsewhen, Volume 1, which is by John Byrne. That's going to be a three-volume project in total. It's literally Byrne picking up the X-Men from where he originally left back in 1980, I believe was when he was last on the book as the artist with Chris Claremont. We then have another Alex Ross project that's being released on September 1st of 2026, which is Marvel Dimensions. So it's Alex Ross handling the entire Marvel universe. And then another project that has me intrigued, which is coming out a week later on September 8th of 2026, is Doctor Strange Endless Nightmare by Kevin J. Anderson, Paul Allen, and Patricia Martin. This is an excellent lineup that they have cultivated here for this new imprint, and I can't wait to see where else they go with it.
Yeah, I really want to pick up that Avengers book. It looks pretty sick.
Today's book, however, is written by Alex Ross, penciled by Alex Ross, Inked by Alex Ross. The colors were handled by Alex Ross and Josh Johnson. And I was remiss in not mentioning this last time around, but Alex Ross and Josh Johnson were actually nominated for a 2023 Eisner Award for Best Coloring for this book. And I would say it's well deserved, wouldn't you, Shane?
I highly doubt anyone colored anything better than this book. But you said nominated, so they didn't even win.
They did not. It actually went to Jordy Belair for The Nice House on the Lake. Well, for The Nice House on the Lake, Suicide Squad Blaze, Ant-Man, and his coloring job on Miracle Man by Gaiman and Buckingham, The Silver Age. So yeah, unfortunately they did not take home that prize. Still a well-deserved nomination.
That's wild. I highly doubt that it looks as pretty as this book.
Lettering duties were handled by Ariana Meyer. Assistant editors were Martin Biro for Marvel and Jessica Gotts for Abrams. The associate editor for Marvel was Annalise Bissa. The editors on the Marvel side was Tom Brevoort, and on the Abrams side was Charles Kochman, and Marvel's editor-in-chief, CB Cebulski. Shane, normally this is where I'd have you go through and take us through the cover. Instead, I'm going to ask you to just give a brief summary of what has come before in this book.
So Ricardo Jones pops up from nowhere and enters the Baxter building and starts spewing out all of these nightmarish aliens that look like insectoids. And the FF zap them, clean up the thing a little bit with the help of the Herbies, and decide that they are going to go into the negative zone and fix this issue that seemed to just drop in on their doorstep. After we get there, they get attacked some more, end up sneaking down a corridor and walking into Annihilus's like dining room while he's snacking away. And as they're sneak out of there after some invisibility from Sue, they come into a wall of faces, and the wall of faces turns the light out on the FF.
And you can hear that all in greater detail in episode 49, where we covered the first half of this book. All right, Shane, let's say we get started with the second half of Full Circle.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, like you said, we ended in a blackout. From this blackout, we have a voice that says, "It's time. It's time to give it up. Your work isn't what it used to be. You can tell, can't you? It's less than what people expect from you. Everyone thought you were fantastic. Your legacy is going to reflect the degradation of your skills. You're letting everyone down. You're over the hill." And we see slowly the light begin to return in a crimson red as the main face within this wall of terror whispers into Reed's ear from behind him. "You should retire." And our full scene is finally revealed. And paint the picture for us here, Shane.
Oh yeah. So it's still a very, very dark room, but it's kind of backlit now with blues and yellows, and Reed is stretched out and up and down and kind of being held on by all kinds of things, like trying to stretch him out. Ben has something wrapped around his neck. Sue's got stuff wrapped around her, and Johnny's also all pinned up with like a looks like almost like a snake around him and like directly in front of Reed. It looks like it's the end for the FF right now.
And this almost Conrad Veidt like face continues to taunt them. "And now you are my living vessels, waiting to be filled. You will bring us back to earth with you. What a glorious scene we shall make." And we get a glimpse of Sue, who has actually placed an invisible force field around her own head, and she says, "So that's it? Thank goodness. I thought it might be something we haven't dealt with before." And Ben spits up an invisible force field. Ugh, Susie, I wish you'd warn a guy before you block his throat. Yeah, well, thanks for saving me from becoming an alien delivering incubator. Flame on! And of course, Johnny bursts into flame and begins to send fireballs careening towards this wall of insectoid terror. And Reed retakes control of his pliable form and wraps himself around Ben. Gang, let's move along. Really, I thought this might be an original evil scheme at some point. Don't tempt fate, sis. There's enough bad mojo around us. Get your crummy blacklight mitts off of me. It's like I'm in a head shop. And Ben nails this wall of insects with a right cross, sending a fair spray of green gore about. Susan, we could use a platform. And you've got one. Thanks for the elevator up. And Sue begins to lift Reed and Ben on an invisible force field as the face within the insectoid wall says, I don't believe we gave you permission to leave, old friend. Old friend? How do you seem to know me? To get into my head. You don't remember abandoning us here? Any of those you left behind in this place? And Reed is suddenly hit with a dawning realization as he says the name. Janice? Who is Janice, Shane?
It's like somebody that Reed sent in accidentally when he was a college student, right?
So, Janice is Richard Janice, who was a research science and fellow college student of Reed at State University. He was pretty driven to find new sources of energy, and he sought Reed's help to harness negative energy, or nega power, as he tended to call it, which is why he took up the identity of the Nega Man. And he clashed with the Fantastic Four in Fantastic Four Volume 1, numbers 107 through 109, the end of which I believe he was abandoned in the negative zone. He did reappear, however, in Volume 3 as well. So there may be some continuity issues here and there. Who knows? Maybe we'll find the answer as we go along.
Maybe.
And Reed flashes back to when he left the Nega Man in the negative zone as Janice cries out, I wanted absolute power, but not like this. Not like this. And Reed's memory is interrupted as someone appears at the edge of the pit above them. And who is it, Shane?
It is Annihilus.
What is this infernal disturbance? A nihilist. Now there's a solid face I can punch. Ben, no. Woe come to any who come my way. I will destroy you.
Whoosh.
As Johnny lets loose with a burst of flame. Let's get out of here. Johnny, burn through the wall. And Johnny begins to tunnel through the side of the pit. You guys will have to move the rock out of this tunnel as fast as I'm incinerating it. And all three of the Fantastic Four respond with,
On
On
it.
it. So who was that guy, Reed? Sue, I think it was a man I knew in college. What? You all encountered him years later as Janice, the Nega Man. Mega Man? Reed, why are we in such a hurry to clear out of here? Because, Ben, there's no reason to start a war with a nihilist today. It's enough to know that we have a new or old adversary to contend with. And the Fantastic Four burst out of the side of a negative zone asteroid and in to negative space. Oh, thank goodness. We're out. Holy cats, how far did we tunnel? Hey, we're getting better at this. Off in the distance, that way, is the direction for us to get home. Yeah, but weren't we supposed to stop that guy? Your old buddy from popping back into our world? And Sue continues to generate the force field disk that herself, Reed, and Ben are all standing on as they begin careening through negative space. He seems to be pure negative energy now, hence the Nega Man. and I don't think he himself can come through without some artifact from our world. When he said I left others here, he was referring to your doppelganger, Ben. I think he/they need a shell to key into our universe, like he wanted us to be. Well, I'm fine with slamming the door shut behind us. How many more human corpses that died here could they use? It's a freaking horror show, I tell you. I don't know, but I don't think my old friend Janice is entirely. What? And a cloud begins to form above the Fantastic Four, Shane. And who appears at the center of it?
None other than Janice.
And he says, "Your equal, an eccentric, a crackpot. You can't escape an embodiment of negative energy in the negative zone. Don't you realize that?" No, I was going to say that I don't believe you are entirely alive. Whoa. Janice, the friend who had fooled me into believing he killed his evil nega copy, would prove to be a madman himself. His desire for nega power brought him here, where he died, most violently upon contact with the planet's antimatter atmosphere. You are a thing that thinks it's a man, but you're just an echo of one. And with this realization, what happens, Shane?
With the realization, the Janice embodiment basically implodes upon itself and disappears.
And we turn the page and we are greeted with a splash that shows the Fantastic Four careening further into the negative zone. It is definitely indicative of the cover of this book, but go ahead and describe it to us, Shane.
You have Reed really stretched out with one arm over Sue, arm trying to hold Ben together. Johnny is just flying in there, and Reed is looks like he's at his full extent of stretchiness, just trying to keep everything in line and in at least a semi-coherent area of the negative zone.
Really? You had to tell Pinocchio he wasn't a real boy? And now we're being thrown through space like rag dolls. Again! Hold on, everyone. I can slow our descent. Thanks, I almost passed out there. Sorry, honey. We keep going through this whenever we come here. Caught with a foot. That seems about right, says Johnny as Reed's shin and ankle wrap itself around his torso. Reed, you got any more jackass college buddies that we got to keep an eye out for? Only you, handsome. Hey, guys, we got another reunion coming. Check out the planet with the exploding rocks all around it. We're back. And we see the negative zone version of Earth as asteroids careen towards it and explode upon impact with its atmosphere. And we turn the page to another full splash where we see the FF landing upon an asteroid in silhouette against the brightly lit planet, as Reed says. Yes, well, it's more than that. It's the anti Earth. You see, it's a counterpart to our Earth in the antimatter universe. Wow, it really does have every continent we got, huh? Reed, I thought this was something you identified as our Earth seen through a, what did you call it? A dimensional interface? You're correct, Johnny, and I think I was wrong. I now believe that everything we encounter in the zone has a distorted relationship to our own universe. I may be mistaken, but I think something unique is occurring here. As you see, this world's surface is undamaged by the falling asteroids that are drawn to it. Why? How? That is a lot of rocks. When the rocks collide over the atmosphere, the debris doesn't rain down on the planet below. Yeah, well, so what? Well, Ben, I think there's something fantastic going on down there. And I think an Earth with its own nullifying force field is an unnatural phenomenon. These suits I crafted neutralize the conflict between matter and antimatter. When we crossed over through subspace, our bodies were converted into antimatter to survive here. Our null force protection should shield us in the same manner that the planet is shielded. Down there, somebody figured out how to protect the whole planet from the threat of a hostile universe. I want to go down there and find out how. Are you freaking kidding me? says Ben as he wraps his hands around Reed's neck. Take it easy, Ben. No, I believe we can do it safely. You've thought that before and been wrong. Look at me. Ben, the combined powers of Sue and Johnny can land us safely. Sue can shield us while Johnny absorbs and redirects the heat of our entry into the atmosphere. Then all four suits will do the rest. Again with the unnecessary risk. What do you want to turn me into now? Of all the cockamamie. Ben, you know Reed. His beliefs are never founded on hope alone. You can trust him. Come on, Ben. You want to see what's down there too, right? I want to see if they have a Shoney's. Ah, the heck with it, says Ben, dropping Reed and folding his arms across his chest. All just to meet some guys who evolved from something other than chimps. And Sue, once again, envelops the team within a force field. Buckle up. Here we go. Let's go over the rainbow, says Johnny as he presses his hands against the bubble. And he begins to absorb the heat from outside. Hot enough for you? Sheesh, no force, huh? No, really, let me know. We're good, Johnny. The suits negate temperature too. Aw, now I don't feel as special. Look, a civilization, just as I theorized. And can you describe the civilization upon which the Fantastic Four descend to?
It reminds me a lot of Planet X when they descend down onto that planet.
I'm
But
very certain that this splash page is an homage to the Planet X story. I like this civilization better.
I think that this has not, I love the designs of Planet X, don't get me wrong. I think this has a more real human structure to the designs of the planet. But you have Reed again wrapped around everyone but Johnny as they're slowly descending down. It looks like Reed can touch the top of that platform down there with his hand, and they're just gonna set down gently, hopefully.
And Ben hopes so too as he says, Hey, slow down, Stretcho. I'm going to lose my lunch up here. Nice digs. Why don't we live here instead? And Reed once again morphs his body into a parachute for Sue and Ben and says, All right, I'm slowing our descent, but those ships are getting pretty close. And can you describe the ships that Ben is referring to?
Yeah, they are like rocket ships with tail feathers. The ships have a cone head to them, and there's like thrusters on the top and around the ship. It looks like this ship could break orbit if it needed to.
And one of the ships shoots Johnny with a tractor beam. Hey, watch out! And Ben puts his hand out towards one of the ships and grabs onto it. Seems like a drone. Ben, don't. But Ben ignores Reed's suggestion and does what?
Oh, he puts his hand right through the side of it with just slapping his fingers into it to see if it's a drone with a nice scrunch.
And Reed has let go of Ben now as Ben sinks his fingers into the underside of the ship. You want to nudge us along? You're going to have to mess with Ma Grimm's boy. And said ship drops Ben down towards the ground as a group of colorfully clad soldiers comes up, Shane. Can you describe them?
So they are wearing green and yellow bodysuits, like they got green boots, these weird helmets, and they have these special pointed guns that they have pointed directly at the FF. They all look the same in uniform. They're just a bunch of guys in green and yellow suits.
I like their helmets. And as Ben touches down, still holding the ship over his head, he says, Ah, here they come, looking pretty much like us ape evolved types. And Reed extends his arm down to drop Sue next to Ben, and she says, Ben, for heaven's sake, don't throw that. I'm not the one who zapped first. They don't look all that friendly to me. And Sue turns invisible and places the armed troops within an invisible force field. Just hold on. We're not going to speak the same language. This may take a while. And Johnny, still in the tractor beam, says, I'm fine, by the way. He didn't hurt me, just trap me. And four individuals come running up through the soldiers. Can you describe them to us, Shane?
Yes, we have in the lead a half lion man. We have another guy in the green and yellow suit, but this one's not wearing one of the helmets. Then you have a lady with a very pronounced eyebrow, and then you have a suit that reminds me of the Master of the Planet, the guy in the back
You mean from Alpha Flight,
from Alpha Flight.
Master of the World?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this guy's design is much more Kirby-esque. This blue suit of armor kind of reminds me of some of Jack's work when he did the Fourth World stuff from DC. This was like an armor you'd see come from Apocalypse. And can you read the dialogue that the gentleman in the green and orange?
Squiggly, 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 squiggly. Line, squiggly, line, squiggly, squiggly, line. Sideways S, less
It's okay,
than.
Shane. That's good. That's good. The correct answer was no, but okay. And upon seeing this group led by this lion-looking gentleman, Ben says, "Oh, geez, the lion from the Wizard of Oz is coming for me." And the lion man continues to try to speak in his own language, unsuccessfully. Yell all you like, pal. The invisible lady's got you. And the lion man continues to try to talk. Uh-huh. Reed, you didn't pack a translator doohickey into my shorts, did you? And the armored figure now begins to try to speak and gets maybe a sentence or two in and suddenly says, wait. And Reed says, English. Maybe this Earth's developed along more similar lines than I would have guessed. And that would be more true than you believe, Dr. Richards. What? You know us? I'm afraid you're the reason I find myself here. You see, I'm not from this planet. I'm like you, just a little worse for wear. And the armored individual takes his helmet off, and who do we see?
We see Ricardo Jones.
Who we last saw in Fantastic Four Volume 1, number 51.
Well, the real version of them. We saw a clone a little bit ago.
Right. But if you guys would like to check out that story, which is This Man, This Monster by Stanley and Jack Kirby, you can go back and listen to that in episode number 39. And Ben immediately recognizes Ricardo and he says, Holy, Reed, it's the guy! We just saw your corpse. What? Someone in the negative zone who wanted to get to us sent your body through to Earth, as it contained a doorway to the zone with an infestation of nega-life channeling through it. It was creepy as all get out. How can you be here? And something that is happening is that Ricardo has like a blue Kirby crackle around his head now that it's been unmasked. And he says, I can only guess that the form you saw was copied from my body when I died, up there. You see, I made impact with the atmosphere when I left you, Dr. Richards, and my matter must have seeded your golem of me. How are you alive then? This positive world took pity on me. Their science here was able to contain my antimatter form and nega energy. Can I just say, Mr. Grimm, what a debt I owe to you? What? For a man I first saw only for the show I could steal, I owe you everything. I not only walked in your footsteps, but I had your very essence take me over. You made me realize, as did Dr. Richards, the foolishness of my jealousy of him. I was a better man when I was you. Uh, I don't know what to say. After I'd been you, they reformed my body using the nega energy, which has to be contained in this suit I designed, and now live in. I'm lucky to have it. You would be astounded by how the history of this world diverged from our own. Here, the First Nations of the Iroquois people met extraterrestrial Hephaestian travelers that they intermingled with. The direction of manifest destiny went a whole other way. Although being in the negative zone, or antimatter universe, brought endless threats, given their advanced science, they created a force field that protected this Earth even from the destruction of its counterpart solar system. The very thing that protects the planet is a deliberate conversion to positive matter. You are on a positive world like ours. All antimatter that comes close is destroyed. Even though I am forever trapped in an armored shell, I have been able to use my scientific insights to work alongside other refugees like me, as I'm sure you find there is always more to be done. Everything I get to do now is a redemption. And who are those other refugees, Shane?
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. No, the Lion and that lady with the big eyebrow, and then the other guy that's dressed like the soldiers without the helmet. I honestly do not know their names. Do you know their names?
I do not. That's wonderful. I'm happy you made a life here. It's a relief to know you're okay. Now, maybe there's something I can do for you. You must have wondered how we entered this environment when we were converted into antimatter to enter the zone. That's why they all came here to, greet you. You see, the suits we're wearing negate the difference with a null force field. Incredible. Now, I didn't pack an extra one, but the material in all the suits will react to our given abilities. I can stretch the fabric a good deal where it replicates and contracts as needed. And Reed stretches a portion of his suit away from his torso and legs. Did you say about a decent 3 feet worth of fabric there, Shane?
Oh yeah, a definitely decent 3 feet worth of fabric there.
Now, if Johnny would help with this, his precise touch can sear off a large enough section to share. And Johnny produces flame on one fingertip and proceeds to cut through the fabric that Reed has produced. Thank you, Johnny. Don't worry, the unstable molecules will seal the separation. And now I can give you something you should be able to refit into your shape, assuming you would like to get out of that iron suit. And Reed hands this fabric over to Ricardo, who bows his head and says, I, I, I've been living in this suit for so long. Thank you. And tears begin to stream down Ricardo's cheeks. Hey, fella, what's your name, by the way? Ricardo. Ricardo Jones. And we turn the page to find what, Shane?
We turn the page to see the Fantastic Four and Ricardo in like maybe the headquarters for these four outcasts on this anti-Earth planet.
And Ricardo says, in our lab here, we should be able to offer you something in return. The trip home isn't simple, right? We'd have to breach escape velocity to exit your atmosphere and avoid the constant explosions on the way. I told you we should have brought a ship. Transference back to Earth may be something only you could achieve since your energies are already anchored there. We have cosmic control rods that came from an ancient race from a planet not unlike this Earth. They transfer mighty energies directed by mental focus. And we see that they have at least three of these cosmic control rods at their disposal. And what do we know the cosmic control rod from, Shane?
I don't know. What do we know him from?
It is the primary weapon of a nihilist,
Oh, fair enough.
Reed says. These we are familiar with. Now I understand where a nihilist took his from. One rod is possibly enough for all four of you, if we cut it into multiple rings. These could attach to each of you as bracelets. Once infused with the nega energy from me, they would naturally grant you the power to will your way across the dimensions to home. That's the theory, at least. I believe I know someone that worked for. Ricardo, don't worry. I'll never let Reed forget who came up with something he didn't. And the gentleman in the green jumpsuit with the orange trim approaches Reed and extends his hand. Thank you for the gift to my friend. Friend. And Reed also extends his hand and they have a handshake. And Ben says, no explosions. Now, why would Ben say that, Shane?
You would have thought that they would have exploded from the positive and the negative matter combining.
Correct. Later. We see Ricardo again, but he's changed a little bit here, Shane.
Yeah, he's in his suit, which is basically a mirror image of the rest of the FF suits, just not with a giant four on the front.
And he no longer seems to be engulfed in that Kirby crackle either.
No, I'm assuming the suit has that pretty contained inside for him.
Reed asks, "Are you sure you don't want to go back with us?" "Someday, maybe. I've had a better life here than I have ever known before. It's home. Plus, you made this life even better for me." And the four members of the Fantastic Four, now with their cosmic control bracelets, all extend their arms and cross them over each other, bracelets tapping together and engulfing them in golden energy. As Ben says, "All right, everybody, click your heels together and think of home." And suddenly, where do the four find themselves?
They find themselves back in the Baxter building.
And that's a wrap. Remind me why we don't live there again? And Reed and Sue get their reminders fairly quickly as they enter the bedroom of Franklin and Valeria. And Sue rushes up and hugs their children, and as Franklin says, "Hey, Dad, where have you guys been?" "Out. Way out. Did we disturb you?" And Reed turns back from the kid's bedroom door and says, "Good night, boys. We'll see you later." "Night, Stretch." "You should be beaming, huh?" "What do you mean?" "Well, that guy really loved playing dress up as you. You changed his life for the better." "What, are you surprised? I'm a great guy." And our scene shifts to morning at the Baxter building where we find who in the kitchen, Shane?
We find Reed and Ben in the kitchen.
"Morning. So what are you doing up?" "I could ask you the same thing, old friend." "Finishing the meal I started before things went all kablooey." "Ah." And Ben takes a bite of his sandwich. "Ah. So what's on your mind, Stretch?" "I've been going over the events of our journey and I feel puzzled. I think we came across some universal truths during our time breaching two dimensions. The invading life forces were composed of negative energy, carried in a body from our positive universe. While one was seemingly harmless, the other was malevolent. While states of good and evil are not quantified by science normally, I think the nature of our opposite dimension, the negative zone, is psychoreactive." "Psycho what?" "I call it psychoreactive because I think it's a distorted mirror of life here, where it is a literal manifestation of our darkest fears and imagining. Just as the subspace distortion area transmits alien images to our brains, I believe the phantom-like nightmares which take physical form there, like Janet's death left behind, exist because we imagine them to. Even a nihilist may be a manifestation of our subconscious. For that one man, Ricardo, to still exist there and thrive, he had to bond with others who came to embody a positive energy to survive in a psychopathetically negative environment. It makes you think about the whole of existence. I wonder what it all reveals about a guiding hand over our lives. Are we merely playthings to some greater forces?" "We're home. We're safe. Can't you just be happy for once?" The end.
Or Finn.
Well, yeah, if you want to get literal about it, sure. All right,
It's
Shane, what did you think?
Oh, dude, I love this book. I was so excited to get back into this. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I know you wanted to do this as a foreshortened episode, and I fought dearly to do this our usual panel by panel way. Even though there's not a lot for me to do in this book because there's not a lot of sounds, this story is just so pretty. I really can't recommend this book enough. I hope that people definitely put in those 5-star reviews and get a chance to own their own copy.
That is correct, and we will touch base on that again in a moment. Shane, no, I'm glad you fought for this to be a panel by panel dramatization. I personally think that when I brought it up as being foreshortened earlier, I was dead wrong. This book deserves the treatment that we gave it. I would definitely say it's my favorite Fantastic Four story of probably the past 5 years. So, yeah, no arguments from me. Yeah, I really enjoyed this book for what it's worth, and it's worth every penny that is charged for it.
Yeah, I still think I'm gonna get the deluxe copy, and I might hand this off to someone who's maybe just has a passing glance interest in Fantastic Four because I think I need that deluxe. But we'll see whatever happens. That's down the line.
All right, shall we hit our Fantastic Four of the week, sir?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, well, I go first this time.
All right.
So for Fantastic Frame, I would have to say that my favorite panel of the back half of this graphic novel was the splash page on page 40. It is when, having escaped from the Yanis slash Annihilus asteroid, the four are careening through the negative zone. It is definitely derivative of the cover in some respects, but it is just a beautifully rendered shot of something that you could almost consider to be like typical for a Fantastic Four misadventure, but it's still utterly phenomenal. I really do enjoy seeing Reed's quick thinking in the situation as he works to round up the team and slow their descent. He grabs Ben and Sue. He does eventually grab Johnny, but he doesn't immediately because he does recognize that Johnny's flight abilities do allow him to take care of himself to some extent. But yeah, you just get that sense of urgency, that sense of taking care of your family within that shot. It's all just wrapped up in some great science fiction-y Kirby-esque goodness.
That is a really good splash page. And I mean, I don't know what else you can really say about that panel. It's beautiful in colors, it's beautiful in the line work. You have that great homage with all the Kirby crackle. If you were just to show someone that, you could be like, yeah, see, this is homage to Kirby.
Yeah. What about you, Shane? What was your fantastic frame?
So I am, if that's 40, I'm a few pages back. I'm like 5 pages from that. It's when Sue puts him in the bubble and Johnny is like slowing the heat down from the outside of the bubble. It's not really a frame, it's more of like a bubble. It's like a circle frame, I guess. I just really like that whole image of like Ben has his hand on the outside of the bubble trying to brace himself, and Reed has his hand on the outside of the bubble trying to brace himself, and you can see you can see Reed and Ben both kind of like bracing each other behind Sue as Sue's got her hands up and Johnny's down, kneeled down and just trying to take the heat off as much as he can. I think it's just a great, like, showing how much the FF care about each other in one.
It's a great example of their teamwork, quite frankly.
Yeah, I really enjoy that.
It was my number two.
All right, so does that mean I'm first for Grim Grumble?
You sure are, buddy.
So, dude, I tried and I tried and I tried. So the only thing I came up for my Grim Grumble is that they didn't name the three other heroes on that planet that formed up with Ricardo Jones.
So I listed it as page 54, panel one, but my Grim Grumble as well was Ricardo Jones has formed his own Fantastic Four in the negative zone. And I noted I was not upset about that. I just wish that we got to know these characters more. And, maybe someday we'll hopefully get a follow-up. It's the fact that, he has this team, he's built this life. I want to know more about Ricardo Jones in the negative zone, and particularly those three characters, especially their names.
Well, according to Marvel fandom anyway, they call this Full Circle Volume 1 1.
They tend to do that with all of their graphic novels, though. Like it's like how they have the epic collections. It's like volume one, volume one, two. It's
Yeah, I just saying there's always a chance.
yeah. I mean, there's a chance that maybe, Alex Ross writes Fantastic Four on the regular and we get a follow up. I mean, probably not, but maybe. I
I
would
think
love that.
if he wrote it on the regular, I would really love it. But I think that there's a better chance of us getting a follow-up about Ricardo Jones and Tiger Man than him writing it on the regular, unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a bad thing to say about this book, really. So I get where you were struggling. I do like the fact that we more or less have the same Grim Grimline, though.
Yeah, I mean, I really would have liked to name them. Dude, that's why I went to the fandom. I was like, did I miss something? Like, are they no, there's nothing there about them being named. And now I'm devastated because I really want to know more about like why this one guy looks like a human and why the other two don't look human at all.
Yeah, they might just be from other dimensions that discovered the negative zone, right?
Right. It just leads me to ask more questions than I have answers, and I'm sad by that. All right, that gives us a cosmic cliffhanger, and you're first, right?
Yep, so I went with page 43, panel 6, which is where the team is careening towards negative Earth. You know, for those of us who have read Fantastic Four Volume 1, number 51, we know that when they collide with the antimatter Earth, they're gonna explode. This is before we know everything about the suits that redesign and whatnot. So, you know, as we're getting that information on that last panel, we have them technically in mortal peril, and it's how are they going to work their way out of this one? Turns out it's really a non-issue, and as you said in your fantastic frame, teamwork makes the dream work, right? So it's still before we have that explanation, it's a pretty harrowing situation for them. What about you? What was yours?
2 pages back, when you first get to look at the anti-Earth there, and you just see the pictures of all the asteroids clashing with it. Because John, as Johnny pointed out before, check out the planet with all the exploding rocks around it. We're back, and who knows where they're going from there. Like when I first read this, I was like, are they gonna try to jump out? Are they gonna is Ben gonna throw these guys out of there? Like he did, like Ricardo Jones did. Like that leaves so many things to be up for question when all you get is just the atmosphere outside of the Earth with all of those explosions going on.
Very similar cliffhangers, but they're coming out of the same situation. So absolutely understandable. All right. Well, that brings us to most fantastic player. Who was your MFP for this week, Shane?
I thought about this for a long time, and I'm still kind of going through it, but I think I give it to Ricardo Jones.
No kidding.
Because he already made himself like a hero enough on the planet that when he got there, he was able to make the best out of a bad situation and not have like the FF get arrested or them having a fight. They talked it out, and then Reed gave him that suit, and he literally, you saw the humanity in him for like the second time. You see the actual tears run down his face. I was gonna go with Sue because it's just the sheer number of times she saved them by putting like the bubble in their mouths so that they didn't get infected with the bugs and the platforms and all that. And like you could definitely make that argument. I went with like the more human argument that like Ricardo Jones grew as a character and was the reason that they were able to get back and see the kids again. What was yours, bud?
So my MFP for this week was Reed Richards. I started going through and doing a tally again, as I am wont to do. So his new suits prevent the team from exploding. That was really important. He rationalizes that there is a society on negative Earth. He uses his body as a parachute on multiple occasions to save Sue and Ben. But most importantly, he provides that unstable molecule material from his own suit to more or less improve Ricardo's quality of life. And out of all the things he did in this story, I felt like that was the most kind gesture that anybody did. So yeah, Reed was my pick.
You were so shocked when I said my pick.
If only because I almost gave it to Ricardo myself.
I was afraid that we lined up again. I was like, dang.
That's not a bad thing when we line up.
No, but yeah, Ricardo, you did two good things. I mean, you did one really bad thing first, but you did two good things in the two times you popped up in the two separate stories.
Yeah, you sure did. Well, true believers, if you want to read this story for yourself, they have done an expanded edition hardcover, which Shane was talking about earlier, which includes this story 3 times over. You got the penciled version, the inked version, and the colored version of the main story, as well as a reprint of Fantastic Four, Volume 1, number 51, This Man, This Monster, which is scanned from the original comic art, not digital. And you get all 24 Alex Ross covers from Fantastic Four, Volume 7. That was released back in 2024 in October. You can also find the standard edition of this at your local comic book store, at local bookstores. You also have a chance to win a copy of Fantastic Four Full Circle, the base edition. because currently we are running a graphic novel giveaway. To enter said giveaway, just hop onto Apple Podcasts and write us a 5-star review, and then email us at fan4fancast@gmail.com. That is FAN, the number 4, FANCAST at gmail.com with whatever user ID that Apple puts to your review. Once we see that review post and can verify that user ID, you're in the giveaway. Just like true believer Brendan McVee, who wrote us our first 5-star review. Shane, would you like to hear it?
Yeah, I would love to hear it.
All right. They have titled this Best FF Pod Out There. It's already some high praise. Thank you, Brendan. Their review reads, the Fantastic Four Fancast is the best FF podcast out there. Shane and Nate bring you panel by panel breakdowns of classic issues. The best part is that they cycle around through different parts of continuity, parentheses, original Stan and Jack stuff, John Byrne, Heroes Reborn stuff, etc., ensuring that things never get repetitive and the conversations are always moving. Thank you so much, Brendan, for your review. We really appreciate that feedback. And you are entered into our graphic novel giveaway. The other book that you're able to win in this giveaway is the Marvel Premiere Edition Solve Everything by Jonathan Hickman. So, two very great collections there. And all you got to do is write that 5-star review.
We have one right now, and if you get it, you're gonna enjoy the two stories. I hope you have never read them before. It'd always be nice to have some more people respond.
And, not only are they great stories, but the 5-star reviews, they really do help additional Fantastic Four fans discover this show, and it supports everything that we're trying to build here at Baxter Building Radio. So we appreciate your participation. As always, your feedback is important to us. Not only can you leave those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, you can also leave a comment or a review on Spotify, just like our longtime listener and friend Bob Wright, who left us a comment on episode 49, which was when we covered the first half of Fantastic Four Full Circle. And Bob says, such a great episode. Thank you again. When you read Fantastic Four versus Planet of the Apes in the third issue, they printed my letter. I'm still shocked about this. Bob, I read your letter. Congratulations on getting published, and thank you for the feedback on episode 49. We greatly appreciate it. No matter where you listen to us, we do recommend subscribing on your platform so we show up in your feed each and every week. We are on Facebook at the Fantastic Four Fancast, where we encourage you to engage in FF related discussions, share Fantastic Four content. We only ask that you adhere to the group rules and, most importantly, be respectful. You can also find us on Instagram at Fan4Fancast. Again, that is FAN, the number 4, FANCAST. And finally, you can contact us by email at fan4fancast@gmail.com. Again, that is FAN, the number 4, FANCAST at gmail.com. Any feedback or suggestions are appreciated. Shane, do you want to talk about what we're covering next week?
Yeah. Next week we're doing 236.
Yep, Fantastic Four Volume 1, number 236 will be covering the first story in that, which is the 20th anniversary celebration of the Fantastic Four. That is Terror in a Tiny Town by John Byrne. It's been a hot minute since we've visited Byrne directly. It'll be nice to get back into the swing of that.
It will be nice to get back into the swing of that.
Well, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to leave the true believers with this week?
I don't think so. I think I've praised this book awfully a lot enough to for our last go of it. I really tell you, like, if you haven't seen this book, do yourself a favor. Even if like go out and buy it if you or put in for the the chance to get the drawing. Like check out your local uh library. Most libraries are doing books now, so or comic books now. Like
Most libraries do books. Yes, 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 they do. This book is so good, folks, that it's taken away Shane's ability to speak English. I so, definitely, definitely something you should check out.
most libraries are doing books now. Oh my God. I knew what I wanted to say.
It's all good, buddy. Shane like book. That's what you need to know.
Oh, crap. I needed that. I
Go
think
ahead.
I think I've touched everything I needed to touch on this book. I can't finger it anymore.
Oh God. Phrasing. Anyway, as always, Shane, it's been a pleasure chatting about the Fantastic Four with you. Thanks again for joining me for yet another week, and I can't wait until we do this again next week.
Yeah.
For Shane Murray, I'm Nate Charles. We hope you'll join us then as well. And until then, stay fantastic.